Hi, and welcome to Origin of Concepts. In this episode, we will explore the origin of the Sphinx at the Giza Plateau in Egypt. The principles of the Sphinx in this video can be applied to all other sphinxes in the ancient world. The Sphinx is literally the living image of the divine pharaoh in the sky, embodied in the mortal world with the body of a lion, acting as a guardian of the temple and the entrance to the tomb, or necropolis, the place of the dead. The Sphinx head doesn't necessarily have to resemble a specific individual. It simply represents the general pharaoh figure's connection to the divine. So it doesn't matter if it belonged to this king or this pharaoh, or because it just have to represent a human head in pharaoh costume. That's the most important part, not who it belongs to. And the reason is that the entire Sphinx concept originates from the center of the Milky Way. So let's take a look at the Milky Way here. The Sphinx represents the lion in the center of the Milky Way, visualized by the dark shadows surrounding it. And let me draw the lion here. First of all, to understand the concept of the lion in the Milky Way, it all started with the golden disc in the middle, which is the lion head, the greatest animal in the sky. Of course, the disc, the spirit light, is the lion head. So that's why a lion is so famous all over the ancient world. But you know, the Sphinx doesn't have a lion head. It has a pharaoh's head. So I'll delete it again. The back of the lion is visualized by the silvery shadow here. And I'll do this just to give you a understanding here. And I guess I think this is the tail, like this. Something like that. Just for displaying. And this is also the leopard shadow. You see, it looks like a leopard's rear. And this is the reason why many of the Egyptian lion entities often is displayed with leopard skin. So now you know that. And then we got the front legs, which is the dark shadows, left to the disc here. And let me draw. I'll just make a stereotype painting here. So, here we got. This is the front. And of course we got the stomach here. So here you got the Sphinx body in the Milky Way center. And that's what it's all about. The greatest of them all. And I'll let it, I can try to mute it just for a second so you can imagine, sorry. This is the lion without head. And the view at the Sphinx from the front with the dream steel between the paws is visualized by the entire outline of the Milky Way center, seen as you've seen it here. Let me draw the dream steel standing here with all the inscriptions, the striped shadow. And then you should imagine the pawns go out like this, something like this. maybe this was better. Yeah. And then of course the head of the pharaoh come up here. Oh, wrong way. Like this. So this is the front view of the Sphinx. But let's get back to the missing head. Because the lion head is replaced with the head of a pharaoh. The triangular shaped head represents the pyramid shape of the Milky Way center, and all aspects of the pharaoh is related to this area, to the area inside this triangle. And let me draw it for you, because here we got the upper part of the pharaoh, and then it goes out like this, and something like this. And here you got the pyramid shape. So that's basically the area we have to concentrate about. This is the head of the pharaoh on top of the Sphinx. And the name is also the name of this headdress. You know, with all the stripes. Is also related to the lion's mane. So the hair, so to speak, of the lion. And if you want to get more details about the face of the pharaoh, you know, and all the details, then go watch my pharaoh funeral mask video, where I'll explain everything in details. But in this video, I'll just explain that this is the head on the Sphinx. Okay. Then we have to talk about the Sphinx's role as the guardian. The Sphinx is guarding the entrance to Duat, the Egyptian underworld, which is also visualized by the entire Milky Way center. So this is the underworld, or netherworld, or the Duat, where all the dead people goes when they leave the mortal realm. They end in the Milky Way center, so to speak. And to enter the underworld, you must pass the divine Akhet horizon, or also known as the Horus in the horizon. The divine horizon is the dark shadows on each side of the disk. And maybe some of you who knows about the Egypt symbols will recognize this symbol here. Just give me a second. I think it's something like that. And then we got the disk in the middle. This is the Akhet horizon, the entrance to the graveyard, so to speak. And the reason why it's called Horus in the horizon is because Horus is standing right here. And you can go watch my pharaoh funeral mask video, or you can wait till I upload my Horus video very soon. But here's Horus standing and guarding the horizon, the entrance to the afterworld. Okay, enough of Horus. I just want to put it in perspective, because it's related to the Sphinx very much. Because the Sphinx is close related to the two acre lions, with the leopard skin guarding the Akhet horizon here, and the entrance to the graveyard. So in the Akhet symbol, you got two lions, you know, standing here on both sides. and guarding the Akit horizon. And those lions is also the Sphinx lion. Okay, let's get on here. The Milky Way center also plays the role as the grave chamber and graveyard where all the mummies is buried. And this is visualized by the stripes and the stripe shadow. So let me illustrate here. This is the tomb, so to speak, and this is all the dead kings. Or if you put them all together, this is the mummy and his bandages, like this. There. And all the mummies is buried, like I just displayed. And this is just a side note, because the temple site in Valley of the Kings is actually a copy of the Milky Way. You got, all the graves, and then you got the mountain range. The temple entrance here, and then you got a long road up to the temple. And this long road is also the striped shadow here into the temple with the pillars. So just a side note. Okay, so both the Sphinx and the pyramids are concepts of the Milky Way center, the Giza plateau in the sky, so to speak. And then I got some comments to some topics around the Sphinx. First of all, the Sphinx is looking east, not because the sun is rising in the east, but because the disk in the Milky Way center and the graveyard, which it's watching over, is racing on the eastern horizon. So that's the reason why the Sphinx pointing east. Everything race in the east, so whatever we pick will race in the east. But that's the main reason. And then there's a lot of talking about the Sphinx and the age of Leo and that kinds of thing, the great year and stuff like that. The Sphinx has nothing to do with the constellation Leo during the spring equinox, pointing to an age around 10,500 before Christ at the age of Leo. Nor the equinoxes or solstices. It's only related to the Milky Way. Just to let you know. The theory regarding the age of lion, bull, ram, etc. has no place in reality. Those idols are all aspects based on the Milky Way center. And you can check out some of my other ancient Egypt videos to obtain more info about this. So we can start the new era of knowledge. Okay, the dream steal between the Sphinx pawns does not make a promise of the kingdom to the prince if he removed the sand from the Sphinx feet. It's a literal mistranslation of a divine text, and I'll maybe do a video on this subject of the dream steal later. But things is sometimes written too literally, and that's a shame, because then we miss the real gold and the real understanding. So let me pin up the line one last time here. Here we got it. So you can enjoy the very nice Sphinx in the sky. And of course, what it's all about, the spirit light inside the lion's head. And I'll draw the pharaoh again because he's here, following the outlines of the shadows. So here you got your Sphinx. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah, it is. Now you know where to find now you know where the Egyptians found the inspiration for the Sphinx. And if you got any comments, just write below, and I'll do my best to come up with an plausible answer. Thank you so much for watching. Until next video, take care. Bye.